Park, Illinois in 1902. He was the fourth child among 6 children. His parents are conservative, middle-class Protestants, of which emphasize ethical standards of behavior and the importance of hard work. He studied in the University of Wisconsin, but transferred to Teachers College at Columbia University, where he studied psychology. So, Rogers' theory of personality. Again, Roger is a humanist theorist. He was influenced by a philosophical movement called phenomenology, which individual exists in the center of a phenomenal field. So, person is affected of the experiences that he is into. That's phenomenology. Distinctions of the term phenomenology in the field of philosophy and psychology. So, phenomenology in philosophy refers to describing the data or the given immediate experience. Phenomenology in psychology is the study of human awareness and perception. So this is the difference between phenomenology in philosophy and phenomenology in psychology. Carl Rogers in 1959 believed that humans have one basic motive, which is the tendency to become self-actualized. So later we will discuss the difference between self-actualization of Rogers from the self-actualization of Maslow. So Rogers' self-actualization, it means that the tendency of the organism to maintain, actualize, and enhance itself. It occurs most freely when the person is open and aware of all experiences, whether sensory, instinctual, or cognitive, and emotional or affective. So if we try to discuss or differentiate Maslow's self-actualization from Rogers, Maslow speaks of self-actualization as a fulfillment of one's own need, while Rogers refers this self-actualization when the person is open and aware of all experiences, whether bad or good experiences, regardless of his or her achievements. Another thing, its process is neither automatic nor effortless but involves struggle and even pain. So, of which this term, pain, struggles, hard work, was not emphasized in the theory of Maslow. Example, the young child may struggle with the first step, but it is a natural struggle. Thus, each organism moves in direction of maturation, and it is defined for each species. So it means to say that struggles, hardships, challenges are important factors in determining one's personality, especially how the person was able to overcome such struggles. The main concepts of Rogers' theory. First is the self. For Rogers, self emerges with the interaction of person and the environment. Remember the concept of social work? Person in environment situation. You cannot separate a person from his or her environment. Environment affects his personality. The concept of who I am. Sino ba talaga ako? This is one of the basic concepts that was emphasized by Rogers. Another thing is self-concept. Self-concept for Rogers means a composition of conscious perception and values of me and I. No? It is also a result of the person's own valuing of its experiences or valuing from others. So self-concept. Sino ako? Ano yung nagawa ko? Paano ko na-overcome yung mga experiences ko? Sino ako sa pananaw ng iba? Sino ako sa pananaw ng mga nakakasalamuha ko? Sino ako sa pananaw ko? So that is self-concept. Another concept is congruence. Congruence and incongruence. Congruence means para lang congruence and incongruence. Congruent means this exists when a person's symbolized experience reflect all of his or her actual perception. So the experience is accepted in the consciousness, while incongruence exists when a person's symbolized experiences do not represent all of the actual experiences, or if they are distorted or denied. And it lacks correspondence between the self as the perceived by the real self. Congruence, kung ang iyong mga experience or ang experience ng tao ay nagre-reflect sa kanyang naiisip, sa kanyang nagiging behavior. Incongruence naman kung iba yung pinapakita niya sa ibang tao at iba yung nararamdaman niya at iniisip niya. So example, a young mother conceives of herself as a good and loving mother but failed to recognize her negative rejecting attitudes toward her child, like hitting the child and others. So this is very evident. No? Incongruence, ito example ng incongruence because for the mother, she sees herself as good. No? That is her self-perception or self-perception. But others may think that she is also neglecting the child and abusing even in fact the child because there are times that she hits her child. So that means to say that her actual self-image do not corresponds to her inner self. So development of personality. Another concept that was emphasized by Rogers is the positive regard. This refers to being loved and accepted for who one is. Example, young children behave in such a way as to show their strong need for acceptance and love from their caregivers. So, positive regard, merong conditioning. Pag sinabi ng mama or ng papa na wag ito kasi mali ito, the child will automatically do it whether bukal sa loob or labag sa loob ng isang bata because he or she wanted to be accepted and being loved or beloved by his or her parents. While unconditional, merong prefix na unconditional positive regard means giving freely the child or the children their love and affection regardless of what the person do or did. So in social work, unconditional positive regard is what we usually do, no? Especially on the principle or embedded in the principle of acceptance and non-judgmental attitude. So, unconditional positive regard, ina-accept natin yung tao for who he or she is, rather than judging the person on the thing na nakomit niya. Like for example, nakakomit siya, no? Nakapatay siya, nagkasala siya. We do not condemn the person for who he or she is, but the act, we condemn the act. No? So that's what we mean by unconditional positive regard. We are trying to understand and accept the person holistically. Okay. So, example, a parent who sees a child scribble on the wall may say, writing on the wall destroys it. Use the blackboard instead. Conditional positive regard, given only under certain circumstances. So, if you do good, then you will be given a reward. But if you do the other way around, you will be given sanction or punishment. Okay. And positive self-regard. This follows automatically if one has received unconditional positive regard. Positive self-regard, ito na yung sayo. Pag-a-accept kung sino ka at kung ano ka dahil nakita mo na in-accept ka ng ibang tao unconditionally. So that's positive self-regard, the inner state. Okay. For example, children who are accepted for who they are come to view themselves favorable and with acceptance. And, of course, they develop more self-confidence. Another thing that was highlighted by Carl Rogers' theory is the psychotherapy. Psychotherapy is also known as person-centered psychotherapy. The direction of the therapy is determined by the clients. So, hindi si therapist or si social worker ang nag-determine ng relationship or ng direction ng kanilang pag-uusap ng therapy, kundi ang kliyente mismo. His psychotherapeutic technique is best characterized as supportive psychotherapy. And the attitude necessary for therapeutic change for individuals who have behavioral problem is empathy. Empathy speaks of empathizing or feeling the emotions of the person, putting your shoes on the shoes of the other, understanding wholeheartedly, acceptance, and genuineness. Another thing that was emphasized by Carl Rogers is the transpersonal psychology, which is a branch of psychology that studies the transcendent or spiritual dimensions of person. Considering there is also spiritual dimension, considering that Carl Rogers' background, his parents are very religious. Concerned with those states and processes in which people experience a deeper or wider sense of who they are and a sense of greater connectedness with others, nature, and spiritual dimensions. So, to sum it all, humanist theorists Maslow and Rogers advocate positive psychology, which focuses on positive features of human beings that make life worth living. So they consider persons as good-natured.